$1,500 at the gate. This is a Fit FM endorsed event.
Are you struggling with loneliness? Feeling depressed? Are you searching for a purpose to live? Are you ready to tap into your inner greatness? Ready to soar to your full potential? Come and be inspired. Join me, Dr. Asha Mwendo, on Healing Moment inside Gospel and Soul every Wednesday, 6 p.m., where we will help you to understand your purpose. We will help you to find your wind. We'll show you how to open your wings and fly. Healing Moments, Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. Good evening, my people. How are you this evening? I'm your girl, Dr. Asha Mwendo, and you are listening to Healing Moments on Fit FM 96.7, your life, your music. And this evening, program is brought to you by Wellness in Motion, and we want you to be part of our conversation. Remember, so you can message us, WhatsApp, voice notes. If you're sending voice notes, make sure they are earworthy. Send your WhatsApp messages to 876-513-6668 or 876-478-9144. And as usual, we are reminding you that Healing Moments continue to call for elimination of violence against our women and our girls. This evening, we have an awesome program lineup with you. My guest in studio this evening is Dr. Vincent Riley, no stranger to us. You have heard him here before. And we're going to talk men's health. But you know the drill already. Before we get to all of that, you're going to get your sip, get your pen, tell a friend, listen to this bit of music until we come right back.
Can I have a moment of your time? I would like to know your name. Kimani, that is mine. Where you've been hiding all my life. I can't believe the beauty standing right in front of my eyes. Girl, you rule my heart. 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 You're a rare and special kind, and I would do anything in the world to make you mine. Could this be love at first sight? Baby, let me hold you close, even only for one night. Girl, you rule my heart. 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 hypnotized. You're running circles through my mind. Yeah, yeah. I wanna love and treat you right. I've been waiting all my life for a girl that's so divine. Whoa, girl, you rule my heart. 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 Girl, you rule my heart.
Good evening, good evening. Welcome back to Healing Moments on Fit FM 96.7. If you are just joining us, I'm reminding you are listening to Healing Moments. We have an awesome program lined up for you this evening, and we will be talking to our men. And as Kimali Marley says, girl, you rule my heart. And we are here to rule your heart this evening, guys. But just before we get to that, let's do our Let's Talk. In my Let's Talk this evening, I want to remind you that we are still seeking support for Myone's children. Remember, Myone is one of those ladies who went into hospital, had her baby, contracted COVID in hospital, and died in the hospital. Didn't go home with her baby at all. And she have two little kids that we are trying to keep in school by supporting the father. So if you want to contribute, just contact me or the school, West Indies College Prep, and tell them it's from Myone's children, and just do your part. Right here in Trelawney, I have a little boy. He's 5 years old. He's diabetic, and so we are seeking support for him as well. His mom is now asking for some boys' clothes. So if you have some nice boys' clothes you can help us with, or you want to sponsor this little baby boy, 5 years old, already diabetic, it's challenging, very challenging on the mom. So if you want to support us in reaching out to him, please let me know that we can support him. In our Let's Talk, as we continue, you heard of the tragedy of this little 8-year-old girl that was killed, murdered. And for me, it is tragic. And so the Neighborhood Watch movement that I lead as well, one of the hats I wear, we are calling for a stand tomorrow right across the island in all divisions. We're asking persons to stand in your townships, stand in your communities, wear black, come out and stand, take your pictures and send them around. Let us stand. We're standing against the killing of our children. We're standing against the killing of our women. We're standing against the killing of our good men. We are standing up because we are saying to the criminals, you are not winning this game. We are going to take Jamaica back from you. We are not going to allow the 15% of you that are cruel, wicked, and unkind to keep the other 85% of us as prisoners. We are taking back our country one stand at a time. And for persons who are listening to me this evening, somebody knows something. Tell what you know. The life you are saving may be your very own. Because when you keep secret for bad people, they can turn on you. Tell what you know, the secret you're keeping, and you're saying you're not telling the police because you don't want to die. Can I tell you, you may very well die with your secret and still don't tell it. So let's come together. Let's take back Jamaica. Let's win Jamaica. We're calling on you to join us tomorrow at 12 o'clock in our townships. Take a stand in full black and stand with us. We're standing from 12 to 2, and we're hoping that everywhere you are, you will stand in black. You will do your placards, do your banners, do your flyers if you want. Take your pictures, flood social media. Let them know we are standing. And this is just the beginning of a movement. I heard that they for entertainers stood in Kingston today. Let's continue until we win back Jamaica. Let us not only stand, let us talk. Let's tell what we know and take action. Let us capture our youth, our young people. Give them a good source that will prevent them from being available for the criminals. Help them to stand. Help them to find themselves. The young mothers who don't know how to do it, let's gather around them. Let's circle the wagon like they used to do to fight against Red Indians and all of those things. Let's circle the wagon around Jamaica. Let's save ourselves. Right. So that's it for my Let's Talk this evening. Quick wellness tip, as we always do. My wellness tip this week is for our men, of course. So I'm saying to our men, stop making excuses. Have no time for go doctor. You go next week. It's too expensive. I'm telling you, if you think getting health care is expensive, wait until you have to pay for sickness. Get regular exercise. Eat healthy meals in small portions. Don't eat those big walks and all of that. Stay healthy. Reduce stress. So we know stress is a whole story, and I'm quite sure Doc will bring that up later on, how we, identify our stressors and deal with them, protect the heart and everything else. Please get sleep. Most of us are not sleeping well, or we're not sleeping enough. So we need to get enough sleep that we can stay healthy. And men, you need to check your prostate. Right. So this evening, I have my guest. I'm not going to say a lot about him. I'm going to give him the opportunity to introduce himself and also tell us what he does and what business he runs. And then after that, we will go into the talk. But my guest this evening is Dr. Riley, Dr. Vincent Riley. And so, Dr. Riley, welcome again to Healing Moments.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mewinder. It's indeed a pleasure always to be here with you and Julia and to share with your listeners in Trelawney and across the world, across the Caribbean, and everybody that is hearing us.
Amen.
So we can talk about something related to health.
Yes.
So as you've mentioned, is that I'm currently a cardiologist. That's a doctor of the heart. And I'm also a consultant physician, which or internist is a person that deals with conditions affecting adult persons, hypertension, diabetes, its complications, and as well as high cholesterol. But specifically, I'm a heart doctor.
Okay.
All right. And I'm also, I share some of my knowledge with students, medical students, as well as associate lecturers at the University Hospital. And currently, I'm the medical director for the Heart Place and Wellness Center located in Falmouth, 21 Queen Street, as well as my main office is in Ocho. I'm also in Anato Bay, Portland, and then I'm also a part of Superior Cardiac and Diagnostic Center in Linstead and Superior Imaging Center in Kingston and the Heart Foundation of Jamaica. So I'm at a lot of places. I'm spread very thin, but I have the time to talk about the things that I enjoy, especially when it concerns preserving health, preventing illness, and ensuring that our population have that knowledge base so they can share with somebody. Teach a man how to fish, and you may never have to feed him again.
Amen. And so, and my listeners, he did not tell you that he drove all the way down from Kingston this evening to sit in studio in Trelawney with me. That's how much he considers this important, right? So, Doc, in a general way, we're going to start talking to our men, but let's be general first before it becomes specific. So, generally, how would you advise our men to take care of their general health?
Okay, men. So, men's health is a big thing. It's a big issue, and for years, we've struggled with men. Was always the breadwinner, the primary breadwinner of the family. So we always put off things, to get things checked. We say we have to go to work, we have this thing to do and that thing to do. So men's health as a broad topic, it's anything that affects one, the emotional aspects of a man's life, the physical, which is the illness, diseases, processes, as well as things, exercise, nutrition. So when we talk about men's health, we're talking about the big picture, mind, body, and soul. And as a physician, we deal more with sometimes with some of the things that affects the body, as well as some of the things that affects the mind as well, because the two are intertwined. So we're always encouraging our men. Sometimes it's probably just to get a talking talking to a healthcare provider or somebody who knows about it can get you over a hurdle of something that you may not have considered to be a health issue. It's not necessarily hypertension, but some health issue, some stressor, something, some trauma, something that may have gone on while you were a child, and you just downplay it. Men loves to downplay things.
Yeah.
So today I look at Dr. Mawenda's outline for her men, and I am quite impressed. And a lot of stuff there that she has mentioned, I think it forms part of what I have said about men's health.
Yes.
And specifically, one thing I want to mention, and she had it at the bottom of her thing as well, prostate health.
Yes.
Prostate health. All right?
Yes. Okay, so doctor, we're going to start first with, I noticed you talk about emotion. And to the best of my knowledge, men don't have any.
Yes. I mean, it's, my wife has a friend who is staying with us, and both of us love to have discussion. I like to talk to her because, I mean, she shares her perspective.
Yes.
And it challenges me sometimes because there's always one part of the whole discussion that I always leave out.
Which is?
The emotional aspect. That connection with a situation. I always leave that out. And while I sit here talking with you guys and I reflect on the discussions we've had since she's been here to Jamaica visiting, I said, there is that emotional connection from her with any particular aspect or thought process that she has, because some of it is lived, some of it is shared, and some of it is what she has gained. But we, traditionally was taught that men don't have the emotions. Men should not cry. Men should not be expressive. And it's part of our, I hate to use the word, but I'm going to use your word here, Merva. I'm going to share it a little, all right? Colonization.
Yes.
Part of the colonization of our men, that we should be strong. We should not be seen as weak. All right? But we do have emotions.
Yes.
We bury them a lot and we internalize, and sometimes it affects us.
It manifests in other health challenges. And so why I really starting at the mental, because I have had to deal with clients who, after they started to talk, and we do talk therapy with them, and they start to deal with these emotions, all of a sudden the heart not sick no more, the stomach not sick no more, the circulation picking up, because a lot of the problems that some of us, women as well, but we focus on our men this evening, it's all knotted up and tied up in our heart. And in this case, our heart is our head.
It is.
Because when we say we keep in our heart, I really in our head where they keep all of these things locked up and locked away. And whether you like it or not, because we lock it away in our head, it affects our heart.
Yes, it does. Because if you think about how men de-stress,
yes.
And if you look around the world, a lot of men, persons who abuse substance, tends to be men, and it's just because of the whole holding on to that emotion, bottling it up, trying to find an outlet. Men will go to a rum bar to play some dominoes, and as a way of releasing all of that emotion that they have bottled up, as opposed to ladies who will talk about it.
Yes.
So men, if you feel like you can only share with a friend, a confidant, a partner, share with them.
Share.
And then, hopefully that person can say to you, get some professional help. It is there. There's a lot of professional help there.
A whole lot. From a sociological point of view, Doc, I have always said if I go to a community to live or for spend some time and there's not a rum bar, a church, and a play field, I'm not staying.
And that's a common thing. It's a common thing throughout entire Jamaica.
If you don't have a rum bar for the men who drink and all of that and have nothing else to do, they don't have somewhere for them to gather, talk. And you have some men who go to the rum bar and they buy one drink for the entire night. Sometimes we have this feeling that it's only drunkards go to rum bars. No, some men go and they buy one drink and they nurse it the whole night. That's their way of de-stressing from the world and also the stresses of the home. The boys must and the girls must have somewhere to go play. If they don't have nowhere to play, what will happen? And then the churches, them need the women go there and go sing out them salvation and work it out in fear and trembling upon the choir and carry on. And I believe a lot of the therapy that women get is not even in church, you know. It's the walk to church with their friend and they talking and they walk back home afterwards and stuff. If you realize, since most of us are driving in our little secular ways, going home and we're not interacting, church is not even giving the relief that some of us needed.
That's so true. Because if you think about it, the rumba, the shop pays is like a university.
Yes.
And that's where a lot of our men will, you know, help as to relieve themselves a lot of the stresses of life. Life itself is stressful. It has a lot of stress.
That has a lot of stresses there.
And then coping mechanism, you will learn and persons will share how they cope with some of the stresses of life. Financial stress, emotional stress. We also have stress within our family.
Yes.
We have stress as a man caring for the family, a man trying to provide as well also has to be seen as that figurehead.
Yes, the strong one.
Yes, the strong one, the one that doesn't break, the one that you can always lean on. And our boys also need that.
That is one of the things. Our boys need to see that men have emotions. They need to have fathers and male figures around them that express emotions, allow tears to come to their eye when it's needed and when they feel the pain, because there's no easy way of releasing the pressure of the heart than through the eyes. When the tears start to flow, it helps to let the heart go down. You know, and one of the things I'm going to say, and I know some women are going to just want to beat me up after I say this, but when I used to do a lot of work in HIV, I used to go clubbing. So I go to clubs and spend the night, give out condoms and all of that. And one of the things I have learned, some men who are promiscuous, as we call them, employ the services of our ladies of the night, of our sex workers. A lot of them is not doing it for the sex. I've had sex workers will tell you that the man come in there and he must think, say, me him psychologist, or me him shrink, him talk whole night. One young lady did make, I can't use all of what she said, but she knows, she like him, the thing say me, I in pulpit, and him a try preach by you know? Some of the and I know all of those who can read between the lines, but I don't want to take Fit FM off the ears. So we'll have to have a late night program for that one. But even the going out and buying sex and running around, some of this is because of how men don't know how to deal with their stress.
Yeah, they don't know how to
express themselves because they are told that they shouldn't. And so this is how they work it out. And I'm going to say this very controversial statement, which make no excuse for what is happening. Some of the criminality that we have in our society is because men don't know how to talk about what is happening, how to negotiate and deal with their emotions and their feelings, so they take action, and most time the action that they take hurts somebody else and themselves in the long run.
For sure.
So, Doc, we're going to move a little bit now from the emotions. We're going to talk about the physical. Let's look at exercise and how it helps our men. And I want our men to understand as well that I have a couple friends or associates who have challenges, sexual challenges as well. And I was saying to someone recently, you sit down too much, you need to exercise, and that will help with the circulation, because a lot of men who are having erectile challenges because it's poor circulation.
Yes, that's true. So if we look at so that is one aspect of men's health.
Yes,
which is really sexual health. And for years, sexual health was always a taboo.
Yes.
If you listen to a lot of our music relating to bedroom bully and all of that, it sort of characterize our men as these vicarious, strong, powerful men, rather than a little flimsy little man that drop off of the fall off of the rhythm and
we like to give men the impression that there's somewhere along the line that ship can mash up sea.
Yeah, so our virile nature, and it's part of our characterization and how we're really brought up to think. And it's a similar thing with emotions. So when we talk about physical activities and exercise and how it relates to sexual health, so sexual health by itself is a big topic when
Very
it comes
big.
down to men, because there's the emotional aspect of it, where stress, anxiety, and all of that has to do with performance, has to do with the quality of the performance, the duration of the performance, and all of those comes into one mix. But erectile dysfunction, which has multiple aspects to it, the emotional aspect, there is the hormonal aspect as
Right.
well, where nowadays there's a new word, which I guess probably later on in the program we can talk a little bit more about it, called andropause in men,
Oh, yes.
which is a premature early hormonal imbalance where there is a decrease in testosterone levels in the men. But then there's also the aspect that has to do with the sort of physical aspect related to blood supply to the
the penis.
the penis.
You can say
the
penis on air in
genitalia. I guess
Jamaica.
it is. Okay, to the penis, wherein blood has to come in, and the blood goes out. But you need to have good blood supply going in.
Right.
So you can imagine several factors will affect it.
Mm-hmm.
So our men who are not doing a lot of activities, exercise, working out, getting the blood supply around the body, they're going to have a challenge later on, or they may have a challenge later on with erectile dysfunction, getting a nice, good, strong, firm erection. So it's always encouraging for you to do physical activities, and physical activities will help with sexual health, but more specifically, it will help with other conditions: diabetes, hypertension, overweight, heart disease. It helps with so many different aspects, so many benefits of exercise. And exercise, which I want to make clear to my listeners,
Right.
I always try to make it clear to my patients. Exercise is not what you do for the day. Exercise is not working in a construction company, not going lifting bags of cement, and
But that meant
That
they live
is-
an active lifestyle.
that's the active lifestyle. That is activities of daily living. Exercise is a time which is put aside, a 30 minutes
A
that is
concentrated
put
time.
aside, and it has aspect. It has that emotional, that psychological aspect, and it has a physical aspect that you do it religiously.
Yes.
And you need to do it 30 minutes per day, at least 5 days per week, or you can double the time and do it shorter. And there are several versions of exercise. There is what we call moderate intensity continuous exercise, which is about the 30 minutes with that warm up period, continuous exercise, and then a cool down period.
Yes.
And then we have what we call high intensity interval training, which is shorter, but it is higher intensity. So
Yes.
exercise is not walking from Hague down to Falmouth and stop on the way and look over the rafting, Materbury rafting thing and say, I want to go rafting one day. That's not exercise. That is getting from your home down to Falmouth town.
I like how you said that, Doc. It's not doing what you normally do every single day
It's not
and
normally.
say you are doing your exercise. Because for me, I have concentrated time for exercise, but I pep up my exercise too doing my housework. So I might, Doc, and I was going to talk about the exercise. I'm going to come back to this. So let me stick up in to know that I remember that I have something to come back to. So I will sweep, but I love dancing.
Exercise that.
I love
And you dance
dancing.
for half an hour.
So I put on the music and me dance and sweep through the house. But as I taught sweeping, I remember after I did my surgery, the doctors and the nurses, everybody keep on stressing when you go home, no sweeping. And I'm saying sweeping is such a simple thing. Why am I not to sweep? But so one day when I think I'm well enough and I think I can manage, I swept just a small portion of the living room. You know how we ladies stay already. Lord, them can't sweep out the house. Can't take it one more day, go mad me. So let me sweep. And I swept, and afterwards I felt so much pain
Mm-hmm.
because of where did the surgery and the movement. So even the act of getting up and sweeping out your own house sometimes, ladies and men sweeping the yard is an activity you don't do every day. So it would be fit into your exercise. But if you sweep every day, it's not gonna work.
No.
As Doc says.
Yes, so if you're sweeping and you're dancing, because there are persons who are sweeping and dancing and playing
Yes.
the guitar, the
And
imaginary guitar,
And you take long to finish the work.
yes, man, that can be exciting because that's not activity a daily living.
Right. You know, because
You know?
sometimes for me, I will be doing, and there are two songs that sometimes I like to play and listen to, and then I would use these songs and I would, sing and dance and do my thing and do the hustle and all of that. And the house can done sweep and all of that. So I will do that for exercise, and I also use the treadmill because I've got myself one, and I have the electric machine. I use that one. There's so much.
Yeah.
But I use that one too for straightening of the muscles and all of that. And so exercise makes a difference. And gentlemen, exercise will not make you slim
No.
if you don't want to be slim.
No.
It helps to build muscles as well.
Develop endurance.
And
So you need
endurance.
endurance because she asked me about sexual health.
Yes.
So if you exercise, you will have the endurance.
Yes. And
Men, you know what I talk about.
yes. You want people to manage.
Sometimes, if you're weaky, you will want done
Yes.
because man just sitting here too much work.
Yes, and to be honest, men, and I'm stressing on the sexual. Quite a number of my listeners have reached out to me. Make sure on every aspect you touch, you talk how it helped me down there. And one of the things I want to say to our men: hurry up and come now, help your partner in your relationship. And a shop we send you to hurry up and come back. So you have to have the endurance to finish the work that you started. It is unfair, and I'm saying to our men, because sometimes the ladies talk to me, it is unfair to light a fire that you know cannot burn all the bush. The fire must be able to consume everything or leave the bush heap alone. So if you don't want to be in that position, please listen to us this evening. Listen to us.
All right.
Yes.
So you need to be physically fit. So
Yes.
the first thing about sexual health as well, that one has to be, as I said, you have to be prepared to do the act.
You have to be prepared.
And there will always be challenges, the health challenges that may be related
yes.
to performance, may be related to erection. And a lot of men get very concerned about that. And, and then you will have some men, because men, I don't want to say some men exaggerate a lot.
Oh, yeah, they do.
But, it's realistic. And I always remember that we talk about the sex act and how long it should be and all of that. And then people talk about 2 hours and 3 hours. I mean, yeah, it's not you can go on for 2 hours or 3 hours.
Any man that
I'm
can
not
go for
sure.
2 or 3 hours.
I don't know.
Well, okay, Doc, let's be fair. The whole act can last for 3 hours.
Yes,
In
the
that
entire thing.
The entire thing, the dinner, the getting
expression
there.
of affection.
Yes, and
the lighting of the
sensitization.
candles.
Yes. The whole thing
Yeah.
can last for 3 hours.
Yeah.
I do agree.
Yes, but the climaxing of the
But the
event.
event itself, that your culmination not last 3 hours. Anybody tell us a story?
All right. So men, so with exercise, and another aspect of it is that a lot of the men, if you get yourself checked on a regular basis.
Yes.
So persons will ask the doctor, all right, yes, I know you're a doctor and all of that. When should I start getting myself checked? When should I consider my health now as a man be of importance? See, when you're a child, your mother does a lot of that for you. The surprise, the mother instinct comes in,
Yes.
and she gets you vaccinated to prevent you from having illnesses. She gets you, takes you to the doctor to get your, the school medicals, which are done. Those medicals are there as a part of prevention
Yes.
when you're a teenager. But when you reach 18, 20, you're independent on yourself. It's now your time
Yes.
to have a healthcare provider. Remember, I use the word healthcare provider because a person doesn't have to be a doctor.
Right.
It could be a nurse practitioner, it could be a nurse, it could be a social worker, it could be anybody that has some medical knowledge that you can go in and say, listen, what are some of the things that I need to do
Yes.
to ensure that I am healthy,
Right.
that I can prevent myself from getting certain disease processes later on. As men, and I'm going to use as Jamaican men, Caribbean men, African men, we are prone to certain conditions that needs to be screened for.
Yes. Talk
needs
about
to
that
be
now.
Searched for.
Yes.
Because if you don't, I always say, if you don't go searching for something, you will not find it.
Yes.
But you have to go searching for it. So a reasonable thing for a man is that we sometimes leave it up to age 40 or so, depending on your family history. Your family history will help to determine some of what you will get. All right. So depending on your family history, you can start your screening early.
Yes.
And if you have that healthcare provider you can talk to, they can advise you as to some of the
Yes.
blood tests, whether you need blood tests, you need an ECG, whether they need to be seen now by a doctor to get
Yes.
things examined. Get things examined, somebody touching things, somebody looking at things to make sure it is normal. Because we as men have our thing and we don't even know what normal is, for you've never seen anybody else one.
Yes, that is true.
All right.
We never see anybody else on. And Doc, just a quick break in transmission. I want to remind you, you can send your messages on 876-513-6668, 876-478-9144 on our YouTube page and also on our WhatsApp page. The listener that says her man only go for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. That is average,
That's
That's
average.
not bad. That's
10 to
good.
15 minutes.
10 to 15, 20 minutes tops a bad man dance, So even not the too bad, baby. If it does everything else, encourage you, get you in the mood and all of that, and then do 15 minutes, you should be good. But if you know you need more, you need to have a conversation with your partner. That's one of the things we do not do. We do not talk with our partners. We only do it. We don't talk about it, right? And remember, you have your fingers and all of those things to help you through the process.
Yes.
So talk with your partner that he knows how else to supplement
Yeah, and don't kiss your
the
teeth and
15 and
say,
10.
can't start up Mr. Woven for that.
Yes, because I've heard women say, "You see, I touched me last night, and I didn't pay him no man, because he won't go light fire him can't out." And those are relationship killers. And I agree with your Doc. You cannot go light up the oven and the bread can't done bake. That don't make no sense. We don't eat raw bread. Hello, let's do better. So, Doc, as we talk about eating or diet now and our holistic wellness as well, because we're really talking to our men this evening, and we'll continue the conversation next week. But we want our men to really feel comfortable. We are saying to you, whatever challenge you face, talk about it. We are saying, yes, it is a reality, and women, you need to listen as well. If your man is diabetic or hypertensive, expect challenges. So you need to work with him to prevent or prolong the challenge coming on later on. And as Doc talk about andropause, which will make sure we pause in a while to make sure we focus on that. I do have a book written by Dr. Vendries that deals with andropause in the whole. Maybe I'll just do it one evening anyway. But Doc, as before we get to how our diet influences our entire health, including our sex. We're not leaving the sexual part of it out at all, because to be honest, when I advertise that we're having this program, most of the requests I have received are about sexual challenges. A lot of our men are afraid for John to die before them.
Yeah. I mean, as men, our organ of pleasure is really the main focus of a lot of us, our lives, and it leads a lot of it. And you will see a lot of jokes and things being pointed at it, like, I think there's one famous one, the guy says, you know, if you never dead, you may have BC and the age, you know.
Yes.
To hear a lot of stuff about it. So, you know, what you put in your mouth in terms of eating, if you eat a healthy diet, and the healthy diet meaning fruits and vegetables, we have to eat some amount of carbohydrates,
Yes.
which is our energy.
Because we need it for energy.
And we need
yes.
the fats and we need the proteins. All of those are things. And then milk and cheese and things if you're not intolerant or allergic to it, you know, or nuts. Those are very, very important. A balanced diet. What those essentially does is helps to prevent our chronic illnesses, as you have mentioned, diabetes, hypertension, obesity, high cholesterol, all of which can impact sexual function.
Yes.
And then as a naturalist, you know, there are certain type of food
that we encourage.
that is encouraged, you know, and some of them are specific. The age, getting a little older, you say, well, as an older man, you need a little bit more of this, or a little more of that.
A little bit more, right?
All of those are the things that will help to stimulate dilation of the blood vessels, especially down there. Gives you a more
cleaning of the arteries
yes,
and the blockage.
Firmer erection.
And strengthening of the heart. Because we want our men to understand that even the little blue pill was not made for sexual energy. No, it was made to help the heart.
Yes.
And then they find out also the heart do better, John do better too.
Yes. So it was made for it, and it is used as well for the pressures on the right side of the heart.
Yes.
Yes, it works very well for that. That's what I use it a lot in my female patients for. And they ask me,
I forgot on your female patient.
Oh, apparently you want to share it with somebody. Okay. All right. So it's what you eat. And, you know, Jamaica is a unique country in that we have so much natural organic food.
Yes.
We food organic.
Yes.
We don't have a lot of GMO food.
No, we
don't.
don't
Eat that healthy food. And I guess probably that's why a lot of our dancehall artists and things talk about virility.
Yes.
How the man is virile and powerful because it's expected as part of our Africanism to be that virile.
And as Mr. Siaga has said, God bless his soul, he died and gone sleep. He says he has vim, vigor, and vitality. And if you don't believe me, go up a yard, go looking at my crib.
All right. So we need that healthy diet.
Yes.
And we have a lot of healthy diet. So eating is one. And then, of course, there's always person talk about the vices that we don't like smoking, cigarettes.
Yes.
Tobacco use is a vice, and it's not good for, as you said, John. It's not good for him.
No.
And it's not just John, the blood vessels of the heart,
Yes.
heart attack, stroke, the kidneys. It's
Whole
not good.
overall health.
Yes.
And doc, there's a thing I noticed now. I think they have more than one name for the different things. But the young men are drinking one drink they call special.
Yeah, man. Rum
And they
special.
have some of different type names and stuff that they are blending. And I noticed even on my street sometimes as early as the morning come, you see men passing with a little plastic cup with these drink in there, and a lot of them having uppers and downers mixed together.
Yeah.
So they have the rum and the bomb and the other things mixed together, uppers and downers mixing together, drinking at one time, confusing the body and confusing John.
Yeah, but those are not really, you know, they're not good for heart health. I always encourage persons not to, as best as they can, not to drink them. And if you're consuming it, consume it in moderation. Same thing with alcohol, wine, not a lot, because everyone will have their vice, and you know, and they'll say, listen, I've been doing it for 50, 60 years and I'm quite fine. Why are you suddenly stopping me? It's when you have a problem, then you see the advice as being important. So in our culture in Jamaica, we have a lot of natural stuff that these guys sell. They're good. You can make them at home. You can make your strong back they call it. And the
strong
front end
back and your
lifter.
chainy root, you build these things, man. You have the front end lifter,
Lifter,
you have the heart, you have the heart racer, you have the one. You have them. You have the one the men them think it's real, but them can womb over and all of these things.
Womb turn.
The womb turn and all of these things. They have these natural herbs and things that you can use. And next week we'll be looking at some of vitamins that you can use as
Yes.
well
Yeah,
to
because they're
help
good.
to boost and enhance your health in a natural way with no little or no side effect. And when I said little or no, is because your side effects sometimes may be because of interaction with other health issues that you have,
mhm.
not from the drug that you are using or the things that we are using. And so that rolls right into the reduction of stress.
Stress.
And so we want to look at that because we have to make sure we leave time for andropause.
Yes. So stress, one needs to find ways of working with stress.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, put it this way: every month, if you're a man that has your family,
Mhm.
every month you're going to get bill.
Yes, man.
Every month you get light bill, water bill, telephone bill, thing, and sometimes it's a bit more than what you're getting.
Mm-hmm.
Find a way to, it might just be taking a breath, taking a rest, getting some sleep, relaxing, and say, okay, let me find another way of dealing with this. Talk with your partner, work together as a
Very important.
team. You can't solve it alone.
A lot of men are embarrassed to work with their partners in taking care of their bills in the home.
Mhm.
And the woman knows that the money can't catch him, but she says, "Look, watch him. Me not say nothing, Because if you not say nothing, me not give him none neither. Because some of us, we are not kind in our hearts. And sometimes he's worrying about the light bill and the lady paid it already.
Mhm.
But because they're not having a conversation, him still stressed over the light bill.
Yeah. So find ways to reduce the stress. Jamaica is surrounded by water, beautiful beaches, although we have to pay to go on them. But we still can go for that swim, go for a walk on the beach. Gentlemen, you see
Play
the
dominoes.
exercise thing we talk about. So if you hold a partner and then two and go for a walk,
Mhm.
it seems romantic and it relieve your stress and you're getting exercise, You may be
Yes.
telling her to try, baby, hold me back, man. Walk faster now.
I can give a
But
joke. When
it's
my
good.
mom and dad used to go and walk sometimes in the mornings, and we used to laugh. Or we used to go walking with them as well. Not even for the exercise, but for the joke. Because our dad is always walking fast, and he mommy, P, wait for me now. And then mother said, then when me come walk for them, if me not walk fast. And it would be fun to see them playing tag, catch up, me leave you again, and you catch up. And they do it and they come back and pick flowers and we enjoy ourselves in the early morning in Manchester. So as you said, yes, even doing it with your partner, it relieves stress, it gives you the exercise you need, and a little family time.
Little family time to talk.
As well. And so let's come down to sleep now.
Sleep is important.
Just you have a message here, Julia? Okay.
Yeah. So sleep is very important. Sleep is sleep is something we need at least 6 to 8 hours of sleep minimum. A lot of us don't get that. Now, when we talk about sleep, we're talking about good quality sleep. When I talk about take a bus from Falmouth to go play and you drop asleep in that bus.
No.
That's not sleep. All right. So it's relaxing yourself, getting that sleep. But what I find a lot, not a lot, a couple of my patients do have what we call sleep disorders. So, and that is why you need that healthcare provider where you can talk to, who understand the whole thing. Because we have a lot of sleep disorders. There are some doctors who only specialize in that sleep,
Yes, I
Sleep
used to suffer
disorders.
from sleep apnea,
That's
so I
the
don't
thing.
have good sleep at night.
Wake up,
Until
you're
I
tired.
when I realized what was happening, then I started to use my herbal knowledge, and I don't have the problem anymore. But it's a real thing.
It's a real thing. You wake up in the morning, you're very tired. By 10, 11 o'clock, that's the time you wake up. That's the time you're up because you're fit and free and ready.
It's a real thing.
But you see in the early morning, you ever see a man drive and sleep yet? You make a man go in bed and him have sleep apnea. What we call, when you're sleeping, you stop breathing. So you wake up and make
Keep
all
waking up
noise.
every meeting in night.
Yes, man.
Keep waking up, keep waking up.
So you don't rest, you don't get a restful sleep. When you drive, you try to sleep, you're scared. But I just true.
I know a
the
lot of
sleep
men.
is so brief.
A lot of men. Every time they stop at the stoplight, they fall asleep. Is when the other people, we love blow your horn in Jamaica. As the light change, you blow your horn, and that saves some of them. Yeah.
And that's the thing. And sleep, you see, and because we started out with talking about sexual health, because I'm going to tie back things to sexual health.
Yes.
So, you see, if you're not sleep well, that the John thing they can't work so well, you know.
No, it don't
Because
work
it now
well.
start getting,
He get tired.
He get
Can no
with problems.
circulation and get to him.
because you start getting the high blood pressure, you start getting the
Mhm.
sugar, you start getting the irregular heartbeat, you're always tired, you're stressed and you have no energy, you're just tired. You can't,
Yes.
even if you ever go mash at work, you can't mash it.
Can't mash shower. And that
You're
is
tired.
why sometimes some men, you know, they bother the woman them forever.
Mm.
And the minute she go say yes, he go say I'm tired. And she go back and she say, you know, have no use. You know, and in the tired, even if you kind of rest for how long. But you know, because either you look at it and say, if they look me all along, you know what, no one get me can't manage, so you make a story.
Mm.
Men, you don't want anybody to say that about you. So Doc, we're going to spend a little time now on andropause.
Mhm. So, as I said, andropause is really that part of the life cycle of a man,
Mhm.
where is what keeps and makes him into a man is the testosterone.
Right.
So, men, we have testosterone and we have estrogen.
Mhm.
Women have woolly estrogen and a little bit of testosterone.
Yes.
If they have more testosterone than estrogen, sometimes they grow a little bit of beard
Yes.
and they get very hairy on the tummy and it look, you know, we have little things that we look at and on the breast and all of that. They have a little more testosterone. Now, men who have more estrogen than testosterone, you know, when you start getting a little older, the testosterone levels fall. What you find is that your testicles start getting a little bit smaller, so they don't secrete as much testosterone.
Mhm.
Your erection is not, you know, is not as wholesome as it used to be. You start feeling a little bit more tired, a little bit
Mhm.
more angry, and it generally is around that midlife time, around the midlife
Yes.
crisis. Is a time is, and it comes at an age.
Mhm.
You woman say, you know, change a life for the woman,
Yes.
and they call it midlife crisis in the man.
Men, yes.
So the men want to replace the virility and the thing with a nice fast car and a big pretty car, you know. I
Mhm.
want a younger look on him and thing.
Mhm.
Sometimes it's all part of it. It's all part of the psychological aspect. You want to feel that power, that how
Again,
good about
yes.
yourself.
Mhm.
So you go through it, and you know, if you test your testosterone levels, you know, sometimes you know that they start falling, and some doctors or some endocrinologists would advocate to probably have a neurologist will advocate to replace it if it is really affecting
Yeah, men, yeah.
your erection, affecting your sexual function. You know, it is a real phenomenon, just like menopause.
Yes, it is. And you know, I really want us to focus a little bit on it because men tend to tell you, oh, we not go through nothing. We don't have any changes. But you see the manifestation in how they present themselves.
Mm.
You have men who are normally nicely dressed, carrying themselves, all of a sudden start dye them here and one of them is some
Yes,
young
man,
boy.
in the 50s.
Or yes, and they start to regress in dressing. And all of a sudden the pants waist going down a little further. And don't get me started on that one. Start to go down a little further. You know, every day I thank God I am not on the list of seeking partners because I don't. It will be hard to find them with 3/4 the men walking with them. You know what, out a door and stuff and consider for my sofa. Sofa. Anyway,
And your bed.
You see it with everything on high, with them song and them use them underclothes them out the door and consume. No, so men, you know, part of men being well as a man is also knowing how to put yourself together, how to dress. But as Doctor was saying, the andropause is a real thing that affects our men. The challenge is though most of them express it now outwardly by doing crazy stuff. And
Mhm.
some realizing that something not so right, but they make better decisions. You have men in the 50s and 60s, Doc, having good relationships up until then. Leave the wife and take up young girl.
It's
It's part of
some of
their-
them is just to
Mhm.
ensure that if to get that feeling that they're
Yes.
still virile, to
Mhm.
prove to themselves, because we like to prove things to ourselves
Yes.
that we're still virile, we're still whatever we're doing is still meaningful, and we're still
And it is
contributing.
also part of the promiscuity of some men. When they are not able to sexually perform, they tend to go to different women because they don't repeat this one woman 2 times because she don't want to have to say anything
Thing
about
about
him.
his
Because
performance.
when
Mhm.
went with her and said, oh, because I'm nervous and all of that, him cancel that the second time. So he move on to another partner. I'm suggesting to you, men, take
Well,
your health.
there's another side to that too,
Yes.
but I'll leave it.
No, don't leave it. You're not leaving anything on the table this evening.
I'll leave that one. But some men will say with a new partner, they're a lot more firm erection, they're more excited, the whole
Because the experience
thing.
is
Yes,
new.
so
Yes.
they-
But I've also
but
known men who don't perform
they
very
don't
well at
perform,
the
man, but
first
they can
time.
blame, they can
too.
blame it, man. They can blame it on nervous
Yeah, they blame it on nervous.
and
But
tiredness.
I have had literal men come to me who, when the first time they're going to go to that partner, they have diarrhea and all of these things,
Yes, man, they're nervous.
They're
and afraid, man.
nervous, fear, they have diarrhea, and people, they just say something wrong with them. It's all in the head, and you have to teach them how to walk
How
through
to
that
cope, yeah.
journey and how to cope
Yeah.
and how to manage. So the men's health is something that we could never exhaust this evening.
Can't. And andropause, as you know, it's not just the sexual aspect of it. There's also the whole loss of bone density,
Yes.
just like what happened with women, because testosterone is what builds our muscles, is what helps to make our bones very strong. Is what also gives us that mental sharpness. That's what maintain our beards, our hair. So it's so all of those are things that comes into play that has to be borne in mind. So it's a big, very, very huge topic, and topical. It's a pity a lot of times we don't really address it. We don't talk about it. We downplay it a lot.
And early next month or the other month, we're going to focus on men's health again. But we're going to look at diabetes and hypertension in its entirety. Just that and how it impacts the holistic health of both male and female. So we'll be doing that pretty soon. So listen out for when we get ready to do that, because it is part of the reason why our men don't do very well sexually and otherwise, because they're not taking care of themselves. A lot of persons are coming down with diabetes very early. When I think of a 5-year-old boy already diabetic, he's going to have a very challenging lifestyle. And his mom is from the poorer class. So, they need a lot of support. And I'm quite sure he's not unique. You have other young children with it as well. So we also have to look at it and how we teach our parents to protect themselves, mothers before you get pregnant, men before you start having children, because it's kind of unfair to the children sometimes when we are not able to do our best physically and mentally and emotionally to support them. So Doc, we have like few seconds leave.
Yeah,
and
it's
that's
just one thing I want to mention before I go. Men, a big part of us, prostate cancer. So prostate cancer is, in the black man in the Caribbean, is one of the number one cause of death from men, from cancer death. And it's when you compare the incidence of cancer, prostate cancer, to the rest of the world, we are not doing very well.
Not at all.
And we need our men to start screening at age 45. Talk with the doctor, start getting that. We don't like it. We hate it. We don't like hear the word digital rectal exam, where the doctor can feel a prostate. If you feel something suspicious, send you for that ultrasound. And of course, the PSA. PSA is a prostatic specific antigen. It's a little blood test that tells us whether a prostate is enlarged because of cancer, because the numbers are up, and your doctor need to look at the prostate, because PSA can be high because you have a little bit of infection in the prostate or the prostate itself. BPH, which is what a lot of our older men have when they say they have prostate problem. If you live long enough, you're going to get BPH. If you live long enough as a man, prostate cancer, it's very slow growing. It's a slow growing cancer, but then you have the very aggressive form of prostate cancer, which seems to be a lot more common in our black population.
And the prostate enlarges as you grow older
as
you have to really be on the ball. So for our men, I'm saying to you this evening, take care of yourself, man. Look after yourself. But Doc, we wanted to give your numbers in case persons want to reach out to you. How do they find you?
All right, so they can reach out to me. As I said, I'm gonna give my number in Ocho. It is 806-4647 or 876-351-6151. And in Falmouth, I can be reached at Oh boy, my number's in Falmouth will give me trouble, All right. At the hard place on 21 Queen Street. That's where I'm located. And the number, if I can read it here. Tell you.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
so the number is 876-417-5164, 876-228-8124. Come by, have a chat. We can chat about, although I'm a cardiologist, sometimes I have enough time to chat about anything. We chat about your pain and them, and we chat about you.
Yes. And so to our men, as we say good evening to you, we are saying to our men this evening, remember, stop being so hard on yourself. Yesterday is set in stone. Forgive yourself. Have a little fun. Do something that makes you happy. Take care of your family. And remember, you determine your own life path. Create your own map. Keep close to God and live. Yeah, this is Healing Moment saying goodbye to you until next week when we have another awesome program lined up for you. Stay blessed, walk good, and I love you.